Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Maker. Today I am showing you how to decorate and customize serving trays with vinyl and keep them food safe on the Great Maker Show and Tell. I love making customized gifts, and one of the best ways to do that is with vinyl. Yesterday's personalized pot holder gift project is the perfect example. But vinyl has some drawbacks. For example, I don't put it on any surface that comes into contact with food because you can't properly clean it and keep it food safe, and that's important. And that makes vinyl tough to use when you want to personalize a platter or a serving tray. But what if I told you there is a way to make a tray with vinyl that you can load up with as many holiday treats as you want? So what's the secret to keeping the serving tray food safe? Well, you use a clear serving tray, put vinyl on the underside of the tray, and then paint and seal the bottom so the vinyl never comes into contact with any food. Isn't that brilliant? I learned how to do it from a member of my Cricut crafters group, Mary H., who shared one of her fantastic projects made this way with everyone, and it really inspired us to try it. This is a fantastic group of creative women. If you're not in my group yet, you're missing out. So you should come join us. Anyway, this is also a pretty easy project. All you need is a clear serving tray, some permanent adhesive vinyl, transfer tape, spray paint, acrylic sealer, and you can cut your adhesive vinyl on a Cricut cutting machine quickly and easily too. Now, it's really important that whatever vinyl you use has the same color on both sides of it, or this won't work. So in both the Cricut premium vinyl and the foil adhesive vinyl that I used in our projects meet this requirement. But not all vinyls do, so check first. Now I've made two serving trays here, a pretty navy and copper foil tray personalized with a name, and a festive holiday tray with the infamous red holiday truck. The designs for both of these are free on my blog. So let me show you where to find the designs, how to add your own name or personalize it any other way, and how to put it all together to make your own customized serving tray. Step 1, get my free serving tray designs. Now my free holiday truck and calligraphic family name design SVG cut files are ready waiting in my library for you over on my blog at jennifermaker.com. Once you're over there, just go to the red bar at the top of the screen and click on Enter the Library. And once you're inside the library itself, the fastest way to find these files is to search the page for serving tray. You'll find it right here. Just click it. It downloads. You can open it to unzip it. And there we go. Here's all of the files. I have all the SVG, PDF, and DXF for both the truck and the calligraphic name design. Step 2, prepare your serving tray design file for cutting. Here we are in Cricut Design Space, and we're going to upload our file so I can show you how this works. First, we'll upload our truck file. We click on Upload, then Upload Image, and then Browse. And we locate the SVG of the truck. So Truck Tray Design SVG, and click Open. There it is, all ready to go. Just click Save, and then once it saves to your account, click on it, and then click Insert Images. And this file is all ready to go. If for some reason you want to replace the words with, say, a name or a different phrase or sentiment, you can come over here on the right and click the eye icon to hide the name, the words Merry Christmas, and put whatever else you might want to put here. If for some reason you wanted just the truck, you can also do that. You can hide everything except the truck. Just like, oops, we need some wheels. There we go. So you could do this too, right? You're welcome to use this file however you wish. And this is basically ready to go. It's already sized for a 17-inch by 12-inch tray. Let me show everything else again. But you can adjust it beyond the size of the tray that I'm using for this tutorial. Now the trays that I'm using are linked in the tutorial if you want to get them too. If If you need to resize this bigger or smaller, just select everything and use the resize handle in the lower right corner. You click and drag it to be the size that you want, just like this. Super easy. And then you just go ahead and click make it. Now let me show you the other design file. I'm going to delete this one. Click upload, upload image, browse, and we're going to get the name tray design. And this is a design I created for you so that you could put a family name or some other phrase or word or whatever you want. Sort of fancy, elegant tray. That was the idea. You'll notice, of course, it's blank because it's waiting for you. Now I put the makers, and the way that I did it was I clicked on text over here on the left and I typed in the makers. Now you'll notice it comes by default in a rather boring font. I'm going to click and drag this into position so I can see what it looks like, and I can click and drag the resize handle to make it bigger like this. I don't like this font. I want to change it, so I'm going to go up to the font menu in the upper left corner, and I am going to search on a font that I know that I like called Bodoni and caps. Bodoni caps. See, isn't that pretty? It's very elegant. And I'm just clicking and dragging it. Now, I want the letters to be all the same height. So that's really just how I typed it in this font. So I'm going to type everything in uppercase letters like this to get the effect I want. And I'm going to resize it again so it fits inside my space. Now, if the name or the word that you've chosen needs more or less space, I kept these elements separated, so you could simply go up here to ungroup, and you can resize this to say give yourself some more space here or give yourself less space. So you have a lot of options. So for say I wanted to do just makers, we would want it to be a little bit, we would want more space like this. See? So you get to pick what you want. You can do whatever you want. You can have a completely different design. The key is to measure the inside of your serving tray. So when we flip over our serving tray and measure the bottom and just the inside part, because that's where the only place our design will appear, we see it's 13.5 by 9. So here in Cricut Design Space, I can click on Shapes, click Square, and then the width is 13.5, and I click the lock to change it so I can change the height and width individually, and the height is 9. And we get this, and you can see my design is currently too big for the size of my tray. And that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to change it for your tray. I'm going to send this to the back so we can see. And I'll also change the color to blue. It makes it easier. And send that to the back. So we have all of our elements separated right now, so this makes it easy. So first I'm going to select everything except the tray. And then I'm going to just use my resize handle to make it closer to the right size. So, and we want to have a little margin around the edges just for our own sanity. There we go. Now you'll notice that, actually this is too dark. Let's make this a lighter blue. Now you'll notice that the decorations in the corners are now just kind of like, they're like a little low, a little high. They're not really quite in the corner, so let's fix that. I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to hold down the Shift key as I click and drag them. And that's going to keep them on the same plane that they currently are, the same vertical plane. I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to click and select both of them. I did that by holding down the Shift key. The Shift key is amazing. And keeping that Shift key held down, I'm going to click and drag it so that it's also down in here like this. See? Isn't that cool? Now let's change this back to the makers. Oops, all caps. Makers. And resize the name because that's really big right now. So we click and drag the resize handle back to here. And then I'm going to lower it a little bit, and I'm going to click and hold down the Shift key and so that it stays on the plane, and move that down, click and drag it. Same thing with this one. I'm going to hold on the shift key and click and drag it upward, and it stays right in position. There we go. That looks awesome. So let's go ahead and delete our blue square. We don't need that anymore. And be sure to select everything and click attach. And this is now ready to cut. Now, let's go ahead and click make it, because there's something very, very, very super important that you have to do when you make this serving tray. You must mirror your design, because even though this is adhesive vinyl, we don't normally have to mirror an adhesive vinyl project the way we do an iron-on vinyl project. Because we're attaching this vinyl to the underside of the tray, that means that we're going to be seeing through the tray onto our design, which means it's actually being applied in the mirror image, right? The sticky part is in the opposite of what it would normally be with a normal adhesive vinyl project. So be sure to come over here to the left and toggle mirror on. And that's super important. Don't forget to do that. And then from here, you can go ahead and cut it out. So just click continue and then choose the material. This, of course, is reminding us that we're cutting on an image that's larger than 11.5, so we'll have to use our bigger mat, which I have, so no big deal. If you don't have that, then you'll have to change the way you're doing it. You may need to slice it. You can use my larger than mat tutorial to change the size of something if you want it to fit, but you don't have a bigger mat to cut a bigger size on. All right, well, let's go ahead and cut this out then so you can see how it works. Step 3, cut out your custom serving tray design. Using a green standard grip mat, place your permanent vinyl with the color side face up on the cutting mat. Remember to mirror your design, select the proper cutting material, and load your fine point blade into your Cricut cutting machine. Step 4, weed your cut design. Once your vinyl is cut, carefully weed the excess vinyl from your cut vinyl using a weeding tool to get anything that doesn't belong out. Now, if you're doing the foil vinyl, you'll want to be very patient. It tends to want to rip. It generally won't rip where it's not supposed to, but it'll rip in all of the places that you want to be removing it from. Now, I have a tip. Whenever I am weeding a fairly big project like this, I like to do it in pieces. So I just use my craft knife and I make shallow cuts around the areas that I want to, around small areas that I want to weed. And then that allows me to take off just a little bit of the vinyl, and it avoids it like getting stuck on the project or just being really sticky and difficult to handle. You can, of course, make these cut lines in Cricut Design Space before you cut it, but I always forget, and so I find it easier just to use my craft knife after I have cut it to create these little areas for weeding. Once you're finished weeding your vinyl, and double check that you've got everything out that's not supposed to be there. So any centers on letters or little bits stuck in beside places, or even things that pieces of vinyl that you removed that have somehow found their way back onto your project, you want to get rid of all those. Double check that everything that shouldn't be in your design is now gone. Now you'll want to apply transfer tape to everything that you've weeded. I like to fold my transfer tape up like this and then set it down in the middle of my project and then gently press away from the center and outward, because that minimizes air bubbles and wrinkles, and it just allows me to get that transfer tape applied much smoother and easier. Step 5. Prep the tray before you apply your vinyl. Prepping the tray is really important as it removes any oil that may be on the tray from handling it with your hands. To prep the bottom of the tray prior to applying the vinyl, just wipe the tray with something that's lint-free, like a lint-free towel or a coffee filter, and some rubbing alcohol. Be sure to let the tray dry really well before you apply the vinyl. The good news is that alcohol evaporates very quickly. Step 6. Apply the vinyl to your serving tray. Now, be sure you're applying the vinyl to the bottom of the tray. So you flip the tray over, and not the top, but the reverse, the underside. This is very important. Just want to make sure that you're doing it that way. I also recommend that you put something underneath the inside of your tray so that when you press down on it, is pressing on that surface rather than just empty air, because if it's just empty air, you might crack your plastic tray. We learned this the hard way. So put something in there so when you press down, there's something to support the plastic. If you've cut out the makers, or if you cut out a name, you can apply the entire thing at once. Now, I found it for centering, I found it most helpful to mark the center of both the tray, the top and bottom, and my transfer tape. So I knew exactly where the center and the top and the bottom were. And then I carefully set my transfer tape with my vinyl design on my tray with the sticky side down, just so that's very clear, by setting down the middle and then carefully pressing from the middle towards the outside slowly. Do this for one side and then the other side. This will minimize air bubbles and wrinkles, which is really important because you can see them through the clear plastic otherwise. So you want to do your very best to avoid air bubbles and wrinkles if you can. You'll also find it's pretty tough to pull up if you made a mistake. So go slowly here and be careful. If you're having an issue, you can always cut out parts of it and apply it a little bit at a time. But I think it's better to do the whole thing at one time, because then we know everything is in the position it's supposed to be in. Now, if you're doing the Christmas truck tray, you'll want to do the vinyl pieces in this order. First trees, then truck, then wheels and hubs, then tree trunks, and then your sentiment like Merry Christmas. Now, here's some tips. When applying the trees, it's helpful to find the center of the trees by folding them in half while the transfer paper is still on the vinyl. This halfway mark, when arranged around the dimple that's in the center of the tray, will help you center the trees horizontally. Be careful not to apply the trees too far up on the tray, though. Be sure to allow space for the Merry Christmas or whatever sentiment you're using. Once the trees are applied, remove the transfer tape at a 45-degree angle. If some of the vinyl comes up with the transfer tape, lay the tape back down and press the vinyl down firmly and try again. Just be patient here. Be careful not to use too much pressure when pressing down on your vinyl unless you put something underneath, because you can definitely crack your plastic if you don't have anything to support your tray underneath. So put something under there, just a book, some paper, whatever. Once the trees are on, you can apply the truck in the same manner. When you're applying the truck, line up the rails with the tree that is in the truck. That's important, otherwise it's going to look funky. Now put the wheels and the hubs, the tree trunks, and the Merry Christmas on your tray. Make sure all the pieces are sealed down well to the tray. You could use a scraper tool to get everything, or a squeegee if you have one, anything that will let you really put that seal down well. If you have air bubbles, you can poke them with the tip of a craft knife and then scrape them, and that helps minimize the bubble. Step 7, painting and sealing your serving tray. Before spraying the back of the tray with spray paint, apply painter's tape along the front rim of the tray. Allow the painter's tape to hang over the rim on all 4 sides. This helps to stop the paint from seeping under the rim and sticking to the front of the tray, because if it does that, it's really hard, if not impossible, to get off. Again, speaking from experience here. Once your tray is all taped up, take it to a well-ventilated area and apply 2 or 3 light coats of spray paint on the back and only the back of your serving tray. Be sure to let the paint dry well in between coats. Depending on your temperature and the humidity level, that could be anywhere from an hour to a few hours, maybe even more. It'll just depend. You can just touch it very lightly to find out. Now, after the paint is completely dry, you'll want to apply a coat of clear acrylic sealer. Let that dry completely as well, and then you can remove the tape from the top rim, and that is it. You are done. And you can load it up with all of your holiday treats. You can use it for however you want. And as long as you're just keeping your food on the front of the tray, you are good. Now, don't put this in the dishwasher. This is not dishwasher safe. When you wash it, you want to wash it by hand. Don't scrub the back. Be gentle with the back. You can certainly wash it, but wash it gently. The sealer will help. But if you scrub at it, you could definitely take the sealer off. And that's it. That's all there is to making a customized serving tray with vinyl that is food safe. Imagine how great these trays are going to be, filled with holiday goodies and awesome things this year. Or better yet, wrap them up as presents or give them as hostess gifts. This is a fun project and I think you'll really enjoy it. Now, as always, if you have any questions about how to customize your serving trays or platters, please leave your question below this video, or better yet, come to our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/CricutCrafters. It's an awesome place. And if you don't yet have a Cricut to cut the vinyl for your serving tray, consider entering my Cricut giveaway that's going on right now. You can enter for the chance to win your own Cricut cutting machine, which is amazing. Get all the details at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. And that's it for today. Tomorrow's project, I'm excited, is I'm going to show you how to make and decorate gnomes. That's right, cute little hairy gnomes. Remember, I am always interested in your project ideas. If you can tell me what you want to make, I can show you how to make it. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.